Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Since Steve's joining us tonight, we thought we'd bring back yet another segment of Ask a Lawyer. And here's some questions we thought you might want answered. First up, O.J. Simpson is up for potential parole tomorrow in Nevada after serving time for a 2008 armed robbery in Las Vegas. Should he be paroled, Steve?
Yeah, they should follow the same procedures they follow for anybody else, regardless of what his name is. And he would be paroled if his name was John Smith.
He's not being held for the murder of Nicole Simpson.
Correct. But, you know, only in our justice system does a guy get acquitted for 2 murders and then get convicted for trying to get his own stuff back, you know, and get 10, 12 years. But, I mean, I don't know their parole eligibility rules and all that, but they should not consider.
Right. Well, even the prosecutor said, oh, yeah, she was okay with it, right? Yeah. Well, okay, Steve, is it illegal or impermissible for a lawyer to become romantically involved with a client, just as, say, a therapist or a counselor is forbidden to associate with these patients in those ways?
Well, it is not illegal, as in it's not a crime.
So Denny Crane was right on point.
Yeah, well, it is unethical under the professional rules of professional responsibility.
And Denny Crane didn't care about that.
No, a lot of lawyers don't. Yeah. I mean, luckily for me, I don't have anybody would want to get romantically involved with me, so I don't have to worry about it. But no, it is unethical. You can get disbarred for it.
Good, right.
And so, yeah, I'm sure it happens in those other professions as well, but it's not supposed to.
Okay. Now, is it illegal to confess to a crime you didn't commit to protect someone else?
Not necessarily, but
really?
there are crimes that you could violate by doing so. Mm-hmm. Like, you can go into the police and say, yes, I committed this crime. That is not a crime. That's not illegal because you're not under oath, and it's not a crime to give a false statement to a state law enforcement officer. Now, if you gave it to a federal officer, that would be a crime for lying to a federal agent. If you gave it under oath and they could prove it, it would be a crime.
So if I went to trial and then I'm on the stand, I go, yes, I did it,
that could be perjury.
That's perjury.
But it's a very difficult charge to prove because they're saying somebody else committed the crime. And you getting on the stand and saying, I did it, you know, then they're going to have to go back and say, well, yes, you committed the crime, and the guy that we tried to send to the penitentiary for life for it, we were just wrong, sorry. So, yes, you know, it's not it can be illegal and violate of certain statutes, but in and of itself, it is not a crime.
All right. Well, a Kentucky state senator plans to introduce a bill which would expand the number of offenses which are eligible for expungement from one's record. The current law allows offenders of 60 low-level or Class D felonies to appeal to have their records cleared. Should this be permitted for more offenses?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in favor of people who have done their time, and you know, obviously it's not going to be for violent offenses and things like that. But I'm all in favor of people who have done their time and served their debt to society to have a clean start, because it does follow people around forever.
Yeah.
It's a sentence that lasts their entire life.
Remind me to ask you about our reciprocity agreement we got with Ohio on traffic laws.
Sure thing.
If I bought a car on Craigslist, Steve, and later found out it had some serious and costly problems, would the seller be on the hook for any of this, or is my sale considered as is and that's final?
Yeah, you're out of luck. SOL.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can sue them, and ultimately they might pay you something, but if you're buying a car on Craigslist, you're assuming the risk that it's going to be a piece of junk.
All right, along those same lines, if an accident happens at an intersection with a broken traffic light, is the city at fault for that offense in any way?
The only way it could be would be if both lights were green, all right, and so people T-boned each other. If both lights are red and for whatever, I don't know there's a possibility, but generally cities have sovereign immunity, so you can't sue.
Yeah, right. You never can get Uncle Sam, can you?
Correct.
Yeah, my deal is, Steve, I was in a bus lane in Columbus, Ohio, and I between 4:30 and 5:30, it was 4:32, I'm trying to turn right. It's also the right lane. I get pulled over, and the guy gives me a ticket for being in a bus lane. 6 points were taken off my license because then he added some traffic violation.
Well, did you fight it?
Well, I pled guilty and paid it because I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a parking ticket. And then Kentucky sends me this thing saying you got 6 points off your license because of the reciprocity.
Always consult with a lawyer before you do that.
Man, I didn't know you then.
And I couldn't have helped you in Ohio either, but I could have given you one up there.
I'm screwed.
Yes, you are.